Yeah, it feels good to be back. A lot of great memories from that time. The place was buzzing. The Raptors were about to win an NBA championship, and it was my first Canadian Open, and I was blown away by just the enthusiasm that the fans had, and it was such a great atmosphere to play in. And then, obviously, the year after, the world sort of shut down, and we weren't able to come back for a couple of years. But glad obviously that's behind us, and I've had a couple of really good experiences at the Canadian Open after that too. But yeah, it's good to be, it's sort of good to be back at the place where I guess this love affair with Canada started. So looking forward to the week. Yeah, it's really important. I think I've made it well known my I guess what I think of national opens. I think they're the oldest championships in our game, and I think they're very, very important. And I'm very proud of the fact that I've won quite a few of them. So yeah, it's important to keep coming back, and again, like to play in front of crowds like this is amazing. And it's always a pleasure to come back up here. I think it ebbs and flows throughout the course of your career. I think it's absolutely imperative to have a great team around you, and I'm incredibly lucky that I do. But everyone's different. Some people have bigger teams, some people have smaller teams, some people like having a lot of people around at golf tournaments, some people don't. It's really up to the individual. I have a great team that I can lean on, but whenever I get to a tournament venue, I try to keep the entourage pretty small. But it's important. I mean, I think with how competitive the game is now, and you have to do everything right, from a swing coach to short game to putting to mental to physical training, diet, all of those things combined, because the margins out here are so small, and you just don't want to feel like you're giving anyone an advantage in any way. So it's incredibly competitive, and I think because of that, you're seeing more and more guys try to assemble these teams around them that give them the best chance for success. Yeah, I was on my way to the golf. I was on my way from the golf course to the airport, and I listened to it on the radio. So I heard the call on the radio, which was like, full disclosure, I was hoping Tommy would get his first PGA Tour win, but Nick had other plans. But yeah, just absolutely incredible. The fact that a Canadian hadn't won this National Open in 60-something years, and the way that Nick did it, that putt at the end, the scene, like just all of it, the celebrations, Adam Hadwin getting absolutely smoked by the security guard, like just all of it was incredible. And this tournament deserved it, in all honesty. It deserved to finish like that because of not just what had happened at the start of the week last year, but also what had happened the year previous as well. It deserved to finish like that, and even though Tommy didn't win, I was so glad that it did end the way it did. I don't think so. I mean, I think in hindsight, I wish I hadn't have gotten involved, or not hadn't gotten involved, hadn't have gotten as deeply involved in it. And I've articulated that. I've said that I hold no grudges, I hold no resentment over the guys that chose to go and play on LIV. Everyone's got their own decisions to make, and everyone has the right to make those decisions. My whole thing is I'm just disappointed to what it's done not to the game of golf. The game of golf will be fine, but men's professional golf and this sort of divide we have at the minute, and hopefully we're on a path to sorting that out and getting that to come back together. But yeah, I mean, if in hindsight's always 20/20, but in hindsight, I wish I hadn't have gotten as deeply involved as I had. It's incredibly sad, first and foremost, and I think we're all thinking of Grayson's family, and hoping that they're doing okay, and getting through this incredibly tough period. And I think it's cliche, but it puts everything in perspective. It puts everything. At the end of the day, golf is golf, and yeah, we play it for a living, and but it pales in comparison to the things that actually matter in life. And that's I've had to realize that at times, and I'm still sort of working my way through that in terms of not making golf the be all end all for me. But I think it slaps you in the face when something like that happens last week, and as I said, it's incredibly sad, and everyone has to remember out here that we go out and we do things that a lot of people can't, but at the end of the day, we're still human beings, and we're vulnerable and we're fragile. And I think if there's a lesson for anyone out there, it's just to be kinder to each other.